Countdown to Halloween, featuring Gregory Miller's Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales. Every night at exactly midnight, a new story will appear on StoryLink Radio's YouTube channel. You'll have 24 hours to listen, then it will disappear and the next one will appear. Plan to catch these each day or you'll miss one. Each story will be 2 to 13 minutes long. If you haven't already, be sure to listen to the introduction to the book right here on this channel. And now, tonight's story from Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales. October 21st. The Mystery. Now, how on earth did that get up there? Old Mrs. Weatherby stared up into the night. Far, far above, at the top of the tree her grandfather had planted as a boy 130 years before, something glowed in the unquiet darkness. Somehow, even as the rest of her body had worn out, grown old and shriveled, husked and faded, her eyes had retained their sharpness. Eagle-eyed Eleanor, some of her older friends still called her, so she could clearly see, even from so far below, that what was perched at the top of the tree simply could not be there. It was out of place. More importantly, it was impossible. Laboriously, Eleanor hobbled down the driveway, up the front walk, up the porch steps, and into the house. Inside, she creaked up one staircase, down a long hallway, and then up more stairs, then down another hallway, then up another staircase, wooden and spiraled, until finally she reached the cupola. She exhaled frail vapors, faint smoke. It was cold in the cupola, which the lived-in heat of the floors below could not touch. Around her, trunks anchored with childhood memories bowed the oak floor beams, each one sealed from time by locks, rust, or both. Mrs. Weatherby hadn't entered this room in many years, but she ignored its contents, instead squinting out the floor-to-ceiling window into the darkness still illumined by that one soft glow, a glow that now clearly flickered and shifted. It can't be. Oh, but it was. She thrust a hand into the pocket of her coat and withdrew the slip of Western tablet writing paper she'd found just 15 minutes before, taped to her front door and fluttering in the cool October wind. She opened it. By the faint sputtering light glimmering through the window, she read it again. Find the jack-o'-lantern, Ellie. Just 2 clues. Look up and get close. Nobody had called her Ellie in over 60 years. She had not played a game of Find the Jack-o'-lantern in over 70. Bernard Fisher, she said softly, the words rusty in her mouth. It couldn't be. The rules of life become well known by the end of it, worn, rutted paths of truth that can't be left and which never change. Bernard Fisher had been dead for over 50 years, killed during the Battle of the Bulge, and there was no coming back. But Bernard Fisher was the only one who had ever played that particular October game with her. A childhood next-door neighbor who had run the mysterious wooded paths and cobbled Halloween streets with her and other long-gone friends, ghosting from house to house, party to party, an apple in one pocket and dried corn in the other. But out of all the drifting herds of children, only he had loved the holiday as much as she did. And for a decade, from the age of 7 to 17, they had carved pumpkins, plotted clues, and chased them through the leaf-strewn town to strategic hiding places. Whoever found the other's jack-o'-lantern first won, and the winner got choice pick of the loser's pillowcase candy after trick-or-treating. Mrs. Weatherby closed her eyes, trying to pull forth every flake of faded memory. Bits and pieces, glimpses, smells, feelings more than anything. The feeling that magic was real and perhaps of their own making. The feeling that secrets could lead to mystery, and mystery could lead to things long lost, forgotten, unknown. The feeling that, for one night of the year, anything was possible. She ran a parchment skin finger over the note. The writing. Was it Bernie's? I can't remember. Look up and get close. She had looked up and seen it. She had climbed up to this room of memories and in doing so gotten close, but why? And what next? She dropped her eyes to the worn wooden floor, suddenly feeling very, very lonely and alone, like a child whose friends had all gone on to a party together and left her behind. And then she saw it, set neatly on the trunk beside the window, another slip of paper identical to the first. Slowly she stooped and picked it up. Breath hitching in her throat, she unfolded it and read, "You found it. A few more steps and you win." Oh, to truly win, you had to pick it up and bring it back home. Get there first, she murmured to herself. How could I forget? And who else could know? Bernie, it is you. She stepped forward and pressed her hands against the window, peering out into the cool and mysterious darkness. Mysterious. How long had it been since darkness felt mysterious to her? A nuisance, a burden, a harbinger, even a metaphor. But mysterious? Yet now the word once again seemed apt. How do I get to you? She said, addressing the jack-o'-lantern. It grinned at her, cheery and toothy and plump from its perch in the highest crook of the tree, almost eye level, not 10 feet away on the other side of the window. Between it and her, a chasm of empty space yawned, stretching all the way down to a yard far below. A few more steps. Time unraveled its constant gossamer strand for 10 seconds, then 20, before her hand, guided by a deep corner of her mind and will, unlatched the great window and pushed it wide. She stepped forward, the tips of her shoes just over the yawning gulf, and took a deep breath, which, spent, sent white steam into the cool and wild air. It's a mysterious night, she said clearly and smiled. Anything is possible. Ellie stepped into the abyss, and the abyss held her up. She didn't glance down, didn't dare. As she took 2 steps, 4, 7, 10, then lifted the luminous, grinning jack-o'-lantern up from its perch, and found herself looking into the youthful face of Bernard Fisher, who stood in front of her on the sidewalk grinning. "You won," he exclaimed. "You let me," she said, punching his arm. "But how in the world did I get back down here? A moment ago." "Since when did how ever matter deep down? You might as well ask, how can Bernie be standing here in front of me, or how did I become young again? Does it matter?" Ellie set the jack-o'-lantern down gently, then looked at her hands, her arms, as if seeing old friends for the first time in many years. "No, it doesn't matter. Not even a bit." "Then let's get going." He reached into a jacket pocket, pulled out 2 pillowcases, and handed her one. "There's masks inside." "It's already Halloween?" "Sure is. Listen." She did. From every direction, from every street, came the laughter of children. "Ready to join them?" She was. They did. "Remember," she called out as they ran, "once we're done, I get choice pick from your haul." "How could I ever forget?" he replied. And they disappeared into the mystery. You've just heard tonight's story from Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales from author Gregory Miller. You can get this book right now on Amazon at the on-screen link, and Kindle Unlimited users can borrow a copy of the book for free. You can learn more about Gregory Miller and his many amazing books and projects at his website, On Screen. If you have not already, be sure to listen to our event video here and visit our event website to learn all about our upcoming events. Remember to come back after midnight for our next tale. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for StoryLink Radio.